Perhaps you remember, I'm sure you tried to forget when I had my colonoscopy.
We all remember, Morgan.
Yes.
Good times. Good
And
times.
then we went on and we were talking with one of the doctors about celiac disease. So now we've discovered there's a lot of people out there with it, and we want to know how to cook.
And we're talking about gluten-free diets, and we've got the gluten-free guru here, Christy Slaughter. And Christy, it is great to have you on Daytime.
Thank you so much for having me.
Is this self-proclaimed, or did you have to?
Yes.
The gluten-free guru.
Gluten-free
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was diagnosed about 4 or 5 years ago, and there weren't many resources at the time, and so we developed Gluten Free Guru to help people transition into a gluten-free lifestyle.
And we're starting to hear so much with, you know, just all the different studies that are coming out, gluten-free diets, autism, and things like that. And so a lot of people are trying out these diets. What does it mean to be gluten-free when we talk about gluten?
When you're gluten-free, you have to make sure that you avoid certain proteins found in grains, such as wheat, rye, barley, and a lot of oats are actually contaminated with gluten. And so we try to avoid those as well, unless we know what they're
Contaminated.
Contaminated.
Ooh.
They're grown in fields with wheat and produced on the same facilities and so forth, and then that causes them to actually contain gluten as well.
Wow, and you're working with the Southwest Virginia Higher Ed Center, doing some cooking classes through them as well.
Yes, they have a new cooking community school called Cooking Along the Crooked Road, and they have both hands-on classes and demonstration classes. I'm doing one on June the 7th, and that will actually be a gluten-free baking and pasta class. We're going to make homemade gluten-free ravioli.
Which I never thought I could have ravioli if I was trying to be on a gluten-free diet. So to be able to do that, there's ways to get there. You just have to know.
Is it anything grain? Or just certain grains?
Certain grains.
Just certain
wheat,
grains.
yes. Wheat,
Wheat,
rye,
rye.
barley.
So you can
and
have
oats.
whiskey either, right?
Well, now
Morgan.
that's
Poor Morgan.
You gotta ask
that's a little
these
different.
things.
Yes,
I know.
Some products are actually made with gluten, but they're distilled like white vinegar, and it actually causes the distillation process through that to remove the gluten molecule. And then you don't have it.
So drink
Good
away.
There are
question.
some whiskeys that I'm sure are okay.
All right, so what are we making today?
Okay, today we're going to make gluten-free crab cakes, and then we're going to be serving it with a sweet corn and tomatillo salsa.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. This is my
Okay,
favorite part.
the most important thing in a crab cake would be
The
crab?
Exactly. And so we're going to be using about 8 ounces of crab. Now, believe it or not, imitation crab does contain gluten. So it's really important when you go to the supermarket to get your crab, it says actually real crab.
Okay.
It may say imitation, it may say crab delight or something
Or
like that.
spelled wrong.
Or spelled wrong.
Crab with a K.
And that does have wheat
Really?
in it. It actually has wheat starch. So, and also if you go out to have sushi, the famous California rolls, most of the time we found that they are actually made with imitation crab as well.
Isn't
So
that
just watch
crazy?
that.
Even the good restaurants.
Even the
Yeah.
good restaurants.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
So we've got our crab in our bowl, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add about 3/4 of a cup of gluten-free breadcrumbs. Now, I made my own bread to use for the gluten-free breadcrumbs. Gluten-free bread does tend to lose its moisture more quickly, and so I usually take the heels of the bread or my leftover bread and I actually just pulse it in a food processor, put it in a Ziploc bag, pop it in the freezer, and then you can have gluten-free breadcrumbs anytime you need them.
There you go.
Good.
Okay? And we're going to add in some scallions.
Ready?
Okay.
Yes, great. It's about 1/2 cup, and then we're going to do some red bell pepper, about 1/4 cup. Now you could use yellow, you could use orange, green, whatever looks great in the supermarket at that time. We're also going to be using 1/4 cup of gluten-free mayonnaise. Yes, you do have to check your mayonnaises and ketchups
I
and
was
mustards
gonna say,
and
can
things.
you find though, if you look hard enough, they do have gluten-free almost everything now?
There are very few things I've not been able to find a substitution for.
Okay, that's great.
We have to think of it as kind of like a gluten-free treasure hunt when you go to get your products.
It's gonna be fun.
Okay, and now we're going to add some spices. We've got black pepper, salt, chili powder, and paprika.
Okay.
And you could do extra chili powder if you like things spicy. One of the most important things, we're going to go ahead and add the egg if you don't mind, Morgan.
Okay.
One of the most important things when we're making the crab cakes is not to over-mix our crab.
Okay.
Because we've all had crab cakes that had more cake than
Yeah.
crab.
That is good.
So when we bite into these golden crab cakes, we're going to want to make sure that we actually taste and see
So you fold
crab.
it more
That's
than
right.
mix it.
We're folding it.
Okay.
Now, when you're on a gluten-free diet, you really have to think outside of the box. We're going to add some oil in the pan.
Okay.
We'll get that nice and hot so it's sizzling. About 2 teaspoons will be fine. Okay, so we're thinking outside of the box, right? Gluten-free bread is not always readily available, so I have some tricks.
Oh.
You can use gluten-free pretzels. You can use crispy brown rice that's gluten-free. gluten-free cornflakes, crackers, and you just put them in a food processor or a blender, and you pulse them, and you can use that in place of your actual breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Really? That's fantastic. I have seen the gluten-free pretzels. Usually
Yes.
it's all in that health food section, you know, the little area. Yeah.
And they're actually really good. I have some friends who started eating them so that when we went to their house, they would have something gluten-free for us. And she said that her kids love them so much, they're actually preferring those over conventional
There you
pretzels.
go.
So that's one of the main things that we try to do. We try to help find recipes that the entire family loves, regardless if you're gluten-free or not.
Ah, my
Well,
girl,
you
Christy,
continue
you're all
here.
about
Okay.
it. This is fantastic.
We're just going to
And-
fry these up.
And we're going
So
to...
we have done the crab cakes.
We have.
Gluten-free crab cakes, and they smell delicious, and they're beautiful.
Aren't they beautiful?
And that lettuce you put it on makes it look crabbier.
It does. You can serve it as a salad. You can serve it as a sandwich. I love double duty recipes, and
Yeah.
so you can actually take the same crab cake recipe and make them into small crab cakes and serve them as hors d'oeuvres for parties. You could use like your favorite creamy salad dressing, drizzle a little bit over the top, and a little bit of parsley.
I
It'd be
like
beautiful.
it. Okay, and now we're going to work on the topping.
Yes, we're making a salsa, and it's a sweet corn and tomatillo salsa. So we go ahead and put the corn in. Now, typically when we
that
think of
looks so good.
sauces, we think of chips and salsa, right? But sauces are a great way to use vegetables and fruits that are in season and add texture to lots of different dishes. Okay,
Okay.
we've got grape tomatoes, and I
Okay.
just quartered those.
Okay.
And those are the tomatillos.
Tomatillos?
Tomatillos.
Where do you get tomatillos?
You can actually get them at the regular supermarket. They're green and they're tiny and they're from the nightshade family. They're kind of crunchy.
nightshades?
And they have a little husk on them. Do you know what I'm
Never heard
talking
of
about?
them. No.
We have one over there. I'll
Do
show
you?
you here in a few
Okay.
minutes.
That's
Yeah, they're
so
really
exciting.
cute.
Okay.
And we've got scallions.
Okay, I'm with you so far. Now I know what those are.
Now, I've done this with a mango salsa recipe and a pineapple, and it's wonderful as well.
Ooh, I
a little
bet.
bit of jalapeno peppers. I've only
Just
done
a little
just
bit.
a little bit.
And you seeded them so they're not quite as...
Exactly.
Okay.
And that looks like lime juice, is it?
It's actually lemon, but you could use lime or
Okay.
lemon. You could actually use tangerine, fresh parsley.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
And I'm going to let you just decide how much we're going to sprinkle. A little salt and pepper, whatever you think would
Okay,
be great.
little pepper.
That's right. And then we're going to do just a little bit of olive oil to kind of make the salsa glisten and look really pretty on
A
top.
little olive oil.
Yep. Perfect.
Could you put guacamole in there?
You could put avocado would be great.
I only asked that because I was wondering if Lisa knew how to spell guacamole.
Stop giving her a hard time. I know, I feel like some of the things, like people's names, if we want to
Yeah.
spell it for Lisa, that's Slaughter, S-L-A-U. Okay, she's good. She's good on all that. Okay.
And we're going to do the juice of one lemon.
Okay.
And so it's a really simple dressing.
Ooh.
If you didn't want to do this and you had like Italian dressing or something like that in your refrigerator, by all means use it. Okay.
I love that we can make our own salsas because then we can control the sodium too. I feel like
Exactly.
in most salsas, you're just, you know,
Well,
full
I
jar
could
of
even
salt.
put some zucchini in it.
You could. You could.
Stop. She knows how to spell zucchini.
Okay.
And then we're going to put a little parsley just on the top.
Look at you
and there
decorating.
we go. Isn't that beautiful?
That is so pretty.
I've got another quick recipe. It's a summer
Okay.
drink that's very easy to make, and I just
Okay.
love it.
Okay.
It's,
Well,
it's such
let's
a treat.
just get crazy.
Okay, we're going to do a vanilla Italian cream soda.
Oh,
Have
that
you all
sounds,
made-
I love
you
Italian
love- okay,
sodas.
they're so
Yeah.
easy to make. We're going to do equal cups of water
Okay.
and sugar.
Okay.
And then we're going to melt the sugar. And so I've done like a cup of water and a cup of sugar. And then I took a vanilla bean and I just scored it lengthwise so all the little seeds in the center can come out. So basically it's just going to infuse the syrup. Now, of course, you can buy flavored syrups in the supermarket, right? But they're so easy to make at home. Why not just do them at home?
Why
Heck yeah.
not?
We're going to heat it up
Okay.
until the sugar dissolves, and you're going to have little pieces of vanilla. And we're going to just take it off the eye and let it cool. And then we're going to do, over crushed ice, 4 ounces of our syrup.
Of that?
Yes.
Ooh,
Now you
okay.
could use fresh ginger. You could do lime peel, lemon peel. You know, anything you want
Be
to
wild.
add for flavoring, right? We've got 4 ounces of half and half.
Oh, yum.
And you could use the fat-free?
Yes, you could.
It's gonna taste
or maybe
differently, but-
use half of that. Maybe only use
Okay.
2 ounces so you get the creaminess. And then we've got seltzer water.
And
Club
it's
soda.
important to get the right seltzer water. Not, I always mix them up and sometimes
Club
end
soda.
up with, yeah.
Yeah.
Club
There's
soda,
a
you
big
got a little
difference.
sodium in it. Club
That's right.
seltzer water, not.
That's right.
Wow.
And there you go. You have a great drink for summer.
so fun.
That's right. And we've got, what is this called again?
Tomatillo.
Tomatillo. And it's kind of wrapped tomato with a little more tartness, right?
That's right.
Find
That's
it. And the vanilla beans, I've never bought those before, but you said you get those in the spice
In the
aisle
spice,
in a little one of these. All right, once again, we've got our gluten-free crab cakes with the salsa on it. And this is like, if you ever make snow cream, this is like snow cream with the little fizzy punch on it.
I love it. I was
Love
going to
it.
say I do like a little orange dreamsicle for Alex during the summertime with the orange and the, oh, it is delicious. They're so
Good stuff.
fun. But this looks like something you would have on an island, doesn't it? It's so festive and pretty.